If Alexander Ovechkin breaks Wayne Gretzky's goal scoring record, when will that be? Let's talk sports talk. Let's go! What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Jim Sock Sports, the name of the channel. LTST is the name of the series. My name is Michaelin, and this guy is Alexander Ovechkin. We're back on the desktop today for LTST episode 4. I want to figure out the exact day. I don't want to figure out the season. I want to figure out the day that Alexander Ovechkin is going to score that goal. And thankfully, Alexander Ovechkin's played a big fat hockey career. We have a lot of data to look at. And yeah, this will be fun. These are things that I love to do, so I hope you guys love to see this as well. Without further ado, let's get into it. So, how do we figure this out? How do we figure out when he'll score goal number, what is it here? 895. That's what we're looking for. Right now, he's 4th all time. We're looking for goal 895. Right now, he's at 748. I will note, I did all these maths on the 27th of November. It is currently the 28th, and Alexander Ovechkin played today, and he did score a goal. So these maths are going to be slightly, ever so slightly, just one game off. But hey, it probably won't affect the final product anyways. But you can just say Alexander Ovechkin is just slightly above the pace I think he's at. So here are my maths. Well, I'll break down everything I did and how I got to the numbers that I got to. So the first thing I wanted to figure out was something that you've done with all your favorite players. How many goals per game do they score, right? You've done this with all your favorite guys. How many points per game? How many goals per game? Alexander Ovechkin, for every one game that he plays, this is the 12-18. I'll show you my math here. So he scored this many goals in his career, and he's got 12-18. So we know that he scores 0.614 goals per game. We also need to see how many games per game does Ovi play, because Ovi doesn't play in every single game. Granted, he is an absolute Iron Man on his team. He plays in 96.8% of the games his team plays. He still does not play in every game. So you can't just take this number, which I think a lot of people might do when they do this math quickly, and say, oh, Ovi scores this many goals per game, times that by 82. His average is 50 goals a season. That is actually not true. He does not average 50 goals a season because he does not play 82 games a year. If he were to play 82 games a year, that's what he would average. But we need to see this. We need to get this number down here. How many team games for Ovi goals? So what we need to do then is take all of these numbers and add them up, not Ovi's totals. We know how many games Ovi has played in, but for the team. How many Capitals games have there been from the 05-06 season until right now? So obviously that's pretty easy to do. You just take 82 and multiply it by all of these seasons, except there are a couple caveats, and those caveats I've highlighted right there. The first caveat would be this season here, the 2012-2013 season. They only played 48 games. Ovi played in all 48 of them. In this, the next one is the COVID season, the first one that was cut short. The Capitals played in 69 games. Ovi only played in 68 of them, so he did miss one game there. And then 56 game season, the shortened season again due to COVID. He missed 11 games, and then this year 21 for 21 or 22 for 22. He's played in all those games. So what we need to do then is we'll clear this and we'll just do 82 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, skip this one, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Multiply that by 13, and we have this number. And then we simply add these numbers to it because these are the caveated seasons that had less than 82 games in there. So we'll just add up all of these numbers. Nice. And we get this beautiful number here. So this is how many games the Capitals have played while Alexander Ovechkin was on their team. But Ovi has played, and you can see here, 1,218 games. So from there, we can deduce that for 82 team games, Alexander Ovechkin plays 79 games, 79.376 to be exact. And then from there, we can deduce that Alexander Ovechkin, for every one team game, does not score this 0.614, but he actually scores 0.594. And that becomes really important later. As we can see, I have these maths there as well. So if I do the math for 82 games, Alexander Ovechkin, 82 team games, multiply that by 0.594, you'll see we get this number here. This number is slightly different, just into the hundreds, it is off, but just ever so slightly. That's just simply because of the decimal points and that I used the different number. So if you take, this is how many team games he scores, you get this number. But if you say that Alexander Ovechkin is just going to play in the actual number of games he's going to play in, which is this number, that's how many games a year he averages, and then multiply that by this big fat number, 614, then you get this slightly different number, which I have written here. But you can say on average he scores about 48.5 goals a game. So that's a lot of that boring math stuff out of the way. How does this equate to his totals for this year and the years to come? So the first thing we have to do is figure out how many goals is Alexander Ovechkin going to end this year with, and how many goals a year does he average given his career. So we're not going to pretend that Alexander Ovechkin is going to stay on this ridiculous scoring pace and put up like 65 goals this year. What we're going to do is we're going to take a look at how many games left they have. Alexander Ovechkin and the Washington Capitals have 61 games left on their schedule. Again, I know that they played today. They technically only have 60, but that's one game's not going to matter. We know Ovi only plays in 96.8% of those games. So Ovi's going to play about 58 games, which means he's going to score 36.226 goals. So you take that plus 18, the amount he's already scored, and we know he's going to score 54.226 goals to end the year. So we take this 54 goal total, add it on to what he already has, and then we get this number here. This is sort of where the graph gets a little bit more fast-paced, or, you know, it gets a little bit more interesting. So we know that at the end of this year, if we just go purely mathematical, he'll score 784.226 goals. I will be keeping the decimal places in, but obviously, you know, they don't score points of goals. Once he gets to the number he's looking for, the decimals don't matter, right? The goals are round to the nearest whole number. The goals always round down to the nearest whole number. You know, it's not like you score 0.6 of a goal and then you get bumped up. Anyhow, you don't need to know that unless you know nothing about hockey, which who knows? Maybe you just love math and you're watching this video. So from there, we get this goal total, how many he'll end the year with. From that, it's really simple. We just take this number and add it on to there until we get to goal number 895. So that's exactly what I did. You take this total, you add that on, you get this total. Then you add on another 48.736 goals, you get this total. Really close to the record now. And then at the beginning of the 24-25 season, he's going to have this many goals at the beginning of the year. But we know that at the end of the year, he's going to have 930 goals. So we know that this goal is going to happen at some time in the beginning of the 2024-2025 season if the math holds up. And then we need to see how many goals then from this does he need to score in order to get to 895. So you just subtract that from that, and you get this number here. Alexander Ovechkin, at the beginning of the 2024-2025 season, will need to score 13.302 goals. Yeah, so like I said, the rounding doesn't matter, but in this case it does, because he needs to get to 13.3. He needs that 0.3 in order to actually get stacked on top of that. I know that now that's wrong. That's going to be 23. But let's not tease that. Let's just do this math ourselves. So if we're adding on from this total, how many goals is he going to need to score essentially just in this year to get to 13.3? Once he gets to that 0.3, we know that that's the 895th goal. So all we need to do then, and this is why it's important that we have team games, because we know that Ovi is going to miss some games. We just don't know which ones. So we need to see how many team games into the year are going to be played until Ovi gets to 13.3 just for this year. So if we do the team game number that we found, Ovi scores 0.594 goals per team game. And then we'll add that to itself. You'll see where I'm going with this. So now they've played 2 games. In this year. They've played 2 games in the 2024 season, and Ovi has 1.188 goals. We just keep adding that. Now they've played 3 games, 4 games, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Because we needed to get to that decimal there in order for it to create that round number. 23 games into the 2024-2025 season. That is when the math says Alexander Ovechkin will score goal number 895. Now, the very last thing we're going to do is look at the schedule just to see roughly how many games into the year is 22 games? I know obviously this year, the start times for the NHL may vary. Sometimes they're earlier, sometimes they're later, depending on what's happening in the world. As we know, the world affects hockey in a big way. We learned that the past couple of years, so take that with a grain of salt. This is where the real guessing is going to come in. But let's just have a rough estimation. How far into the season is 22 games? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in this month. Move on to the next month. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So the 23rd game of this month is happening at the very end of November. I think that this is probably running, this season is probably running just a little bit later than it would. It might be a touch sooner, but hey, this is where the guesstimation comes in. And you also know, who knows, maybe Ovi might get hurt more than I'm predicting. He might become less durable as the years go on. These are all the things that make this this video, obviously, it's just a math video. Yeah, I know that this isn't going to be the exact day, but if the math is right, then this could be right, and the math is 100% right. So we know that it's probably going to be at the end of of November, maybe at the beginning of December. So from there, let's take a look at this calendar, and unfortunately, hold on. There we go. So now you can see December as well. So we know that roughly in the 2024, it's going to be near the end of November or the beginning of December. I'm going to be cautiously optimistic here and say that he probably won't be quite as dominant, but I don't think he's going to slow down as much as people think. I'm going to predict, for some reason, I feel like it's a Wednesday. I feel like he's going to score it on a Wednesday. I don't know why. I'm going to say December 4th. December 4th of 2024. If the math is right, that'll be around the time that the Capitals play their 23rd game, and that is the game in which Alexander Ovechkin will break Wayne Gretzky's all-time goal-scoring record in the NHL. Now, I may be sort of shooting myself in the foot, picking an exact day. So, just so that I don't beat myself up too hard when the Capitals don't schedule a game on the 4th of December, I'm going to give myself this week, the 1st to the 7th. If Alexander Ovechkin scores from the 1st to the 7th, I'm going to say that my prediction is correct, in which case, I don't know. That's awesome. Get this video to 1,000 likes if my prediction's correct for 2024. Yeah, so that'll pretty much do it. I'll put my math up here again so you guys can see it. 23 games into that year, that is when he'll get to 13.3 goals, and 13.3 goals in this year is what will give him 895. Then as you can see, if he plays till the end of his career keeping up this pace, who knows? Maybe he signs another small deal and gets to 1,000. It would be absolutely incredible. Either way, it looks like Alexander Ovechkin will break Wayne Gretzky's record, and it also looks like Alexander Ovechkin will be the first ever NHL player to score 900 goals in the National Hockey League, which is just absolutely bonkers. It has been such a blessing to be able to watch him play pretty much for my entire, growing up. I became a hockey fan really this was the year. Because this was the year the Oilers made it to the Stanley Cup final, and that was the year that I really got into hockey. So it's been an absolute pleasure, Ovi. It's been so much fun to get to do these maths and just have some fun with you guys. I hope you guys liked this video. If you do, please subscribe to the channel. We're a brand new sports channel, making fun videos like this as much as I can. Like the video if you liked it. Tell all your friends, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Keep your stick on the ice. Let's go!
I'll just do my job.